Markiplier.
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 Markiplier's independent horror film.
Iron Lung.
Iron Lung.
Iron Lung.
Iron Lung.
Iron Lung.
I've spent the last week in a self-imposed silence. Following the film's opening, I wanted to honor Mark's request, let the movie speak for itself before the world starts the inevitable process of tearing it down or building it up. But after almost 7 days of processing and a social media post of my thoughts in short, the silence has become too loud. I have a lot to say. First, a disclaimer. I am biased. From Heist to the Edge of Sleep, and yes, I'm still losing my mind waiting for that to be finished, I've always been drawn to Mark's specific creative frequency. I didn't walk into the theater looking for a polished, focused group Hollywood product. I went to see a vision realized. Critics have already taken their shots, calling it slow or unpolished, but I think they're missing the point. Films like Iron Lung aren't built for a corporate bottom line or a mass audience. They are built for the artist. I want more of this in the world. I want imperfect, raw stories told by people who actually give a damn. This film is the result of 3 years of singular obsession, and its imperfect beauty is exactly why it works. It reminds me of the early days of Guillermo del Toro, that same uncompromising devotion to the texture of a world, where the grime under a character's fingernails is just as important as the dialogue. In a landscape of digitized green screen soup, Mark's approach was refreshingly radical. He built a physical set, mounted it on a hydraulic arm, and let gravity treat him like a rag doll. There was a visceral delight in seeing that tactile, grimy realism. When he slams into a bulkhead, he isn't hitting a stunt mat or a void. He's hitting the steel. In this one-man show, the environment is less of a backdrop and more of a lead character. Because the set and costumes are tangible, every frame serves as a grounded reminder that we are witnessing real moments, even within a sci-fi artifice. It's a masterclass in the old world style of filmmaking, a style I feel the loss of deep in my core. The score by Andrew Hulshult of Doom Eternal fame is, in a word, perfect. It was utilized so correctly that sometimes you don't even notice it, and that's the highest compliment I can give. It lives in the room with you, acting as the heartbeat of the submarine and the sound of the pressure closing in. It doesn't just tell you how to feel, it vibrates in your chest. I've been listening to the soundtrack on its own, and it holds up beautifully. Beyond the music itself, there's a level of integrity here that the industry desperately needs. Typically, studios strip artists of their rights for the good of the project. Mark refused. He ensured that Andrew kept the rights and profits to his work. That respect for fellow creators proves that Iron Lung wasn't just built on a set, it was built on a foundation of human decency. It gives me hope that you can stay human even when the spotlight gets this bright. Mark brings his signature charisma to the big screen, but there's an authenticity here that feels more real than half the A-list stars we see up there today. His acting isn't perfect in the traditional sense, but it's honest. Simon feels like a real person navigating an intensely traumatic situation, especially in how he grapples with the radiation he caused. That layer of self-inflicted guilt changes the air in the room. He isn't just a victim of the ocean, he is a prisoner of his own mistakes. When he blanks out at the keyboard, instantly forgetting a simple code as instructions are rattled off to him, he feels like a real man responding exactly as anyone would. Even when the film leans on tropes like a dropped pencil, Mark's subtle humor and command of tension make the moment feel earned rather than scripted. While I'll admit the pacing drags in spots, I found myself too captivated in the cinematography and the sheer detail of the set to care. Even as someone who wasn't a die-hard fan of the original game, the film found a narrative depth in that blood ocean that I never expected. It expands the lore without over-explaining it, maintaining that less is more philosophy that made the source material so haunting to many. At first, the ending felt lackluster, almost unfinished, but in hindsight, it's the only ending that rings true. In a world defined by the incomprehensible, a tidy resolution would have felt like a lie. Instead, we are given a sliver of hope, and a mountain of question. What was that Eldritch entity? Did Simon simply die, or did he merge and become a part of it? Will the mission actually change anything? The film leaves us in the dark, and rightfully so. It trades easy answers for a lingering, profound sense of unease, exactly as the Eldritch horror genre should. This isn't just fan obsession, it's about recognizing a shift in the tectonic plates of media. Iron Lung feels monumental because we are watching the walls between internet creator and filmmaker crumble in real time. We are witnessing the birth of a new era of independent cinema, where the gatekeepers are no longer required for a story to be told. It is a stake in the ground for independent creativity. It has a weight, a soul, that a billion-dollar blockbuster simply cannot touch. It is a labor of love, a reminder that art doesn't have to be polished to be profound. I loved it, and I always will. If you haven't gone out to see Iron Lung yet, I implore that you go. It is a moment you can't miss, and a story worth seeing.